Okay, we are here to present a new project. Me, I'm Maurizio Caporali, co-founder of UDOO, and here Andrea.
I'm Andrea Rovai, I'm currently working at UDOO.
Now,
all right.
Jen, you can present you?
Yes. Yeah, I can present myself, certainly. How's the reception, by the way? Because my reception of you is rather weak.
Oh.
Anyway, can you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Can you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great.
Perfectly.
All right. So my name is Jens, and I live in Copenhagen. I work as a consultant in an open source consultancy called Bit Blueprint, where I work with various projects. And one assignment that we got in spring this year was for a theater production company to build a motion capture suite, which was based on open hardware. So we went ahead and played a lot with different systems. Like we found some chips that did the accelerometer, magnetometer, gyro thing, and hooked them to Arduinos, and eventually had the foundation of a motion capture system. Now it worked relatively well with Raspberry Pis actually, but we needed some more. We needed some more kick because we also have some computer vision stuff that we need to do, aside from just reading the sensors. So therefore, we needed a bit more sort of punch, a stronger CPU, so we could actually have all of this computer vision done also. And then the choice fell on the UDOO because it was also suited with an Arduino on board directly and a lot of other things. It looked like it had a community around it too, so it felt like the natural choice.
Because what kind of work have the UDOO you need with the UDOO? Because you capture all the information directly from the sensor, and you do collect this information and send a stream to the main machine, for rendering. And
So each actor has on their motion capture suite a UDOO board which collects all of the data from the sensors. And I wrote the D code to talk to all of these sensors and collect all of the data. Moreover, we are using a research project called ARUCO, ARUCO, which is responsible for determining the position of the actor on the stage actually. That's also some C code. And then finally, there is another C code project that I've been working on that captures the facial expressions of the actors. So they actually also have a mask on them that films their face with some markers on them. We have some green dots in the face of the actors, and then we use that to determine the facial expression. So. Yeah. All of this data is collected and sent via the Wi-Fi to another machine that runs the 3D game platform called Unity, in which we have made all of the virtual stages for the actors, and there they will be able to sort of have a free, like they will be able to roam freely within their motion capture suite in these virtual this virtual universe. So this is going to be used for finally it's going to be used for children's theater. So we're actually going to broadcast live 3D theater to children around the country. And so it works like this, that we make the studio. We have a studio here, and we have the actors actually in the studio doing all of the acting. and then we broadcast the sensor readings to the Unity machine, which makes a 3D picture of that and broadcasts that to the audience in the other end of the country, maybe.
Okay.
And then at the theater where all the children are, we have a camera facing all of the children, so we can actually have some interaction going on. So there can be one of the actors in their motion capture suit will be able to address like one kid, like say, you there on the first row with the blue hat on, you will be the king today, or whatever, like what would suit. And then we can actually see how the children react to that, because we have a live feed going back again. So we have
the camera. Sorry, the camera is connected to the UDOO board.
Yes.
Okay, and
The
then
camera-
make this analysis from the camera sensor and send this information to the main.
Yes, we have 3 cameras connected to the UDOO,
three.
actually.
Yeah.
We have, yeah. So we have 2 cameras on the filming downwards on the floor, because we have a certain pattern on the floor which makes us able to determine where on the stage, so we can determine the position of the actor on the stage with the cameras on the knees of the actors. Then the 3rd camera is actually facing the face of the actor, and we can use that to gather the facial expression of the actors.
Yeah.
So that obviously requires some computational power, and that's why we opted for a quad-core processor. And yeah, it works relatively well, I would say.
And I'm curious, how did the audience reacted to the show?
Well, we haven't had our premiere evening yet, actually. So so that will be in a few weeks. But we have made some shows, or what? Yeah, we have made some shows with an earlier version of the suit, in which the children were indeed very pleased. It's a new sort of a new dimension to bring to these 3D movies that children. It's a new dimension that they can actually interact with the movie, and they can speak to the persons on the screen, and that makes a lot of difference for them. It's not just one-way communication. We can actually have a conversation between the actors and the children.
Is there some relationship with Oculus Rift? Or...
Sorry, it's rather bad. I cannot hear. Can you start the question over again?
Okay. Is there any relationship with Oculus Rift or virtual reality in your project? I mean, for the future.
Yeah, we indeed we have Oculus Rift development kits, and we are figuring out what to use them for. This is a 3D. Like there are 3D artists here. I can give you the tour of the office in a minute if you want to. But there are 3D artists, and we are indeed very. We are very up to date with what is going on in this industry. So indeed, yeah, we have Oculus Rift units, and we are planning to do fun things with them.
Yeah. Okay. Another aspect we really appreciate of your project is the fact that it is open source. And you said to us that you tell us that you work for an open source enterprise. Yeah. And why did you totally embrace this choice of being open source?
Well, I think it's very natural to share the wealth. Like, you know, files on a computer, they are free to copy, and therefore, like by extension, it makes sense that you should share the wealth, basically, right? And also from a consultancy perspective, you can actually, if you embrace this open source thing, you are all of a sudden allowed to use a lot of stuff that is already on the internet. And that will gain you a lot more bang for the buck, if you will, because you can actually borrow a lot of code from elsewhere on the internet. So that's what we've done with this camera on knee thing. I haven't done a lot of code on the Aruco project. That's mostly, I believe, Spanish research group that does that. So they're doing it with another goal in mind. They want to do some augmented reality stuff, but we're using it for something completely else, and we are allowed to do that because we're actually distributing our stuff with an open source license as well. So we can come much further for both time and money if we decide to use that way. And also, this is a small team, so we can actually gain a lot from hobbyists around the world wanting to contribute to this thing. Indeed, this suit is going to be refined, and we are planning on launching a crowdfunding campaign sometime at the end of this year, so we can actually bootstrap a community of hobbyists in the topic of motion capture, and we will see how that goes. I think there is a market actually for people wanting to experiment with this, and I think embracing the community from the beginning is the right way to do that.
Just out of curiosity, Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
We are well. That is still up in the air actually. So until very recently, Indiegogo was the only way to do it when you live in Denmark, at least, because Kickstarter wasn't even available for Danish projects. But actually, now it's available, and I must say I don't know about the pros and cons in terms of picking either. I don't know yet, and it's not just my call. We are a whole team, and we should agree on it. And yeah, but to be honest, right now I don't know about any pros or cons one way or the other.
Okay. Obviously, we would like to
help us if you need some information about to start a campaign, because it's very hard. It's very difficult.
It's very what, sir?
Very hard. It's very difficult to start a campaign on Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
It's not so simple.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
You need some information because we have, with the experience of UDOO, we have a little background.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for that. That would be very nice.
And what about issues? One question is one important question for us is what is the most important issue you faced during the deployment of your project, and how UDOO helped you to solve it?
I'm not sure I understand the question. The most important issue, as if a problem that we've had.
Problem you faced during the project?
Yeah, well, we have one large problem, which is USB 2. It has too little bandwidth for all of the video we are trying to pull through it, and also for these very preliminary alpha versions of the suit, we've been using USB for all of the sensor input as well, and that is very clear now that is not sustainable. But we knew that actually in the beginning. We just worked on that, we worked on getting data through the system as quickly as possible without doing anything very optimized. So we started out with something that we knew was not really going to work, and now we are faced indeed with the problem that the USB 2 connections don't cut it anymore. So we need to figure out a way for 3 cameras to flawlessly get video through to the system on a chip on the UDOO. And right now we're using USB webcams, but we know that there is also a connector for other kinds of cameras on the UDOO itself. It would be very cool if we could actually hook up more than one camera to that particular port, because that would eliminate the need for the USB connections, which do not really fit the bill.
And that for recognition, image recognition, you use OpenCV?
Yeah, we are using OpenCV for all of the computer vision stuff.
All the computer, yeah.
Yes.
It is working also to optimize OpenCV on UDOO.
That would be nice to hear from you then, because there is also while we do have a quad-core CPU, we could use some more performance still in terms of frames per second in these Aruco and face capture applications. So that would be nice. I should also look into offloading some of the OpenCV stuff to the, as I understand, the dedicated sub-processor that OpenCV can use in that regard. And yeah, that's for me to look at soon.
Yeah. We are working to use the GPU for image analysis, and the performance will change a lot.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a drastic change also. That would be very nice, because right now we've been toying with the idea of actually just streaming the video imagery to a stronger processor. So we're just taking it from the camera, streaming it somewhere else, and then processing it. But the problem with that way is that then we introduce a lot of latency, and we do not want that. We would like as low latency as possible, because we are actually doing this live. This is not motion capture, this is motion streaming. There will be an actor standing on a stage in the studio while the audience is watching, and of course we must do what we can to eliminate all of the latency that we can actually eliminate.
Okay, and actually we had a lot of questions to ask you about how would you like to explain it to upstart viewers, but you have already answered to this question at the beginning of the conversation.
Okay.
If you remember. Yeah. Okay, so I think it is time to say goodbye to you.
All right, but thanks for having me, and I'm glad that you showed interest in our little project.
We would like to keep in touch for the future about your Kickstarter campaign. We are seriously interested.
Certainly. Of course, we can do that for sure. So we will launch that probably at the end of this year. So what we need before that is we need to have actually had shows using our own motion capture suite. We want to like have a prototype before we can actually go on with the crowdfunding campaign. So that's first. The other thing is that we are working on making some custom electronics, still open, but custom electronics for the sensors that would allow us to connect them by some other interface than USB. And we are still assessing the possibilities. There are different low-level communications protocols like I2C, for example. And we should finalize our discussions about that before actually making the campaign. I think we should have something that is actually a viable product for somebody who would like to toy around with it before we actually start the crowdfunding campaign. So that's what we're working on until New Year.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So
thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
See ya.